Good evening. This is a regular city commission meetings for the city of Largo. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask that if you have a cell phone, please turn it to silent or off so that we don't have any interruptions. Okay. We're going to start tonight's meeting with an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, so please rise. Please bow your heads. Let's all take a minute to pause and reflect on the shared responsibility we hold to serve and strengthen our community. We are grateful for this opportunity to come together in the spirit of collaboration and purpose. As we look ahead to this new year, we pray for strength to meet the challenges before us, courage to pursue what is right, and hope to envision a brighter future for all. May our work here reflect our shared commitment to the well-being of every person in our city. Bless this meeting, those who lead, and those who serve. May our actions today sow the seeds of prosperity, kindness, and progress for the year to come. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have one ceremonial item on today's agenda, the proclamation declaring January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
Whereas during National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, the City of Largo recognizes human trafficking, also known as modern-day slavery, as a public health issue that impacts individuals, family members, friends, and co-workers across our city. And whereas traffickers use force, fraud, coercion, purchasing, patronizing, and procuring to control victims of human trafficking, both international and domestic, and whereas everyone should feel peace and be safe in their communities. Human trafficking is an intolerable evil that involves exploitation for labor or sex and affects people of all ages, genders, races, religions, and nationalities. And whereas there are more people trapped in slavery today than at any other point in human history, at any given time there is an estimated 63 million people in modern slavery. And whereas the City of Largo stands with victims, our law enforcement officers, social workers, professionals, educators, and other brave individuals who are focused on protecting families and communities from human trafficking. And whereas it is a year-long problem that requires long awareness and time to prevent, stop, and educate the community and nation that we live in. And whereas the City of Largo joins with others across the state of Florida and nationwide in supporting human trafficking victims and survivors, the advocates and organizations who serve them, and holding offenders accountable in the City of Largo. Now, therefore, I, Woody Brown, Mayor of the City of Largo, Florida, and on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2025 as National Human Trafficking Awareness Month in the City of Largo, in conjunction with the recognition of National Human Trafficking Awareness Month across the state and country.
Good evening. My name is Alexis Singh, and I'm a victim advocate at the Largo Police Department. Today's proclamation is to bring awareness about human trafficking in our society. Human trafficking is a modern slavery that impacts not only the victims, but us as a community in our everyday lives. It is a year-long problem that requires long awareness and time to prevent, stop, and educate the community and nation that we live in. It can be violent, it can involve people we do not know, but it can also be non-violent. It can involve loved ones and trusted people in our personal lives, and it can be all genders and races, and it can all be happening in our own backyards. Human trafficking does not have a specific race, ethnicity, or country that gets specifically targeted. It instead is everywhere around us, from the grocery store, established businesses, homes, and many more. There's an estimated 63 million people that are being human trafficked in all forms of sex trafficking, labor trafficking, child soldiers, domestic servitude trafficking. Every year, at least 12 million girls are married before the age of 18. In 2024, over $236 billion was generated by labor trafficking. About 27.6 million of men, women, and children combined are part of labor trafficking. And about 70% of both sex and labor trafficking incidents involve the same single victim that was involved. This proclamation is presented in hope to spread awareness of human trafficking and how it affects us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Next is approval of, actually, next is citizens' comment. If you'd like to speak about something on the agenda outside of the consent docket, please wait until an item comes up. Do we have any cards this evening?
I have 2 cards. First is Mark Clutho.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Well, I have here the photograph of what it looks like. Your sick, wasteful, hideous new City Hall. The view that you get when you're walking up to the school board building. Yeah, there should be a law against making something so wasteful. What does it give us? Hurricane Miltons, Hurricane Helene's. Yeah, the headline here, Hurricane Milton is terrifying, and it is just the start. Well, when you make sick buildings like this that will pump the carbon into the atmosphere, providing the fuel, this is what you will get. The headline here reads, "Science can't keep up with the warming planet." Well, there is science that will help to stop it. It's called high-performance passive solar building. It's just the opposite of what this looks like. All the glass that you have on this building, facing the south, facing the east, facing the west, not right. More hurricanes are slamming the Gulf Coast. Is this the new normal? Yeah, that's what you're bringing. Oh, it's so sad. And here's the headline, Pinellas communities begin the long road to recovery again. And it'll be again and again. Because you are so stupid, ignoring the science. Look here, a primer on sustainable building. The Anasazi Indians knew about the proper orientation over 1,500 years ago. What is wrong with you? It's criminal.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ayara Bonanno Caldera. I hope I said that right.
Good evening.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak up. I've been going through burglary in my house, like 2-3 blocks away from here. Since March of this year, I have the burglar comes to the house. He drops gloves, surgical gloves, pieces of PVC, pieces of credit card to open the door. I even have it here, like all colors, green, white, this one blue. This is a piece of PVC that I found. Every time he comes in, he breaks in. I have reported to the police of Largo numerous times, but they're not responding. The last time was January 1st, between 7:05 p.m. and 9:20. That's when I came back home. the burglar came to my house again. And it's becoming very difficult for me because I work from home, and every time I go leaving to the gym or food shopping, whatever, he breaks in. And the police of Largo is not doing anything about it. They're throwing the responsibility on me. I put some cameras, some Wi-Fi cameras, but the burglar, he unhooked the cables outside, comes in, steals, leaves, unhook again, and leaves. So I don't have any face to show. I'm changing cameras for hardwired cameras. Tomorrow the guy is coming. I'm spending a lot of money, but I cannot be responsible for burglars acting in my city, the city I chose to live. And I thought I was safe, and I don't feel safe right now. So I'm pleading to you, Mayor, that you help me doing this. I spoke to Karen 2 months ago. She never got back with me. And I spoke over the phone. I told her I went to the police station this afternoon, and I asked for all the reports that had numerous calls, probably more than 20, 30. And I have some of the officers being very disrespectful to me. I called one at 5 a.m. in the morning. He came without no weapons, nothing. I said, well, officer, you come to my house. A burglar was like in my house, in the backyard, so you don't have nothing, no dogs, nothing. He was furious at me. Are you drinking? I have been drinking. Did you take any medication? I have a very honorable job. I'm a counselor. I provide service to police officers, fire department, workers, people with using drugs. I'm not this type of person. And I have a license with the state of Florida. I'm a responsible citizen. So I deserve to be respected, and I deserve to be helped. So that's my plea to you. If you, this is just, some of them. Everything else that I have, it's in the house. It's like a big bag. So I would like to get some input from you guys, investigate to see what can be done.
Thank you. We'll certainly look into it. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's all the cards.
Thank you. Next is approval of tonight's agenda.
Move approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Next, we'll consider the minutes from the special meeting of November 12th, 2024.
Move approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Now we'll consider the minutes from the regular meeting of December 17th, 2024.
Yeah, approval of that too. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Could I hear a consent docket, please?
Item 4, resolution number 2419, adopting the City of Largo 2025 State Legislative Action Plan. Item 5, resolution number 2420, adopting the City of Largo 2025 Federal Legislative Action Agenda. Item 6, resolution number 2421, authorizing an application through the National Estuaries Program Watersheds Grant for the aluminum sulfate treatment facility replacement project in an amount up to $370,000. Item 7, approval of a settlement of the lawsuit titled Lynn Nugent as personal representative of the estate of Zachary Anthony Guvia versus City of Largo in the amount of $115,000. Item 8, authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, the Pinellas County Forensic Laboratory, and the police departments located in Pinellas County for rapid DNA bookings to provide CODIS hit notification to the Pinellas County Jail. Item 9, approval of the Long Lake Preserve plat. Item 10, reappointment of Alex Novakoski as a member of the Employees Retirement Board of Trustees for a 3-year term, which will expire in September 2027. Item 11, authorization for additional fiscal year 2025 spending for trenchless sanitary and storm sewer rehabilitation in accordance with bid number 24-B-806 in the estimated amount of $200,000.
Thank you. You've heard the consent docket. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent docket without commission discussion and including staff background provided in the commission packet.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. I don't see Mr. Novakoski here, but I'd like to thank Alex Novakoski for volunteering once again to be on the Employee Retirement Board of Trustees for another term. So thank you for your service to our city. Next is item number 12.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This agenda item is to obtain commission authorization for emergency expenditures from fiscal year 2025 budget for disaster management recovery services provided by Tetra Tech Incorporated. The commission previously approved the creation of a task order to cover the scope of work from Tetra Tech at the November 19th, 2024 meeting. After obtaining the full scope of work from Tetra Tech, the estimated cost of services is $1,860,720. The complete task order is included in the agenda packet. Community Development sought assistance in the increased workload created from the impacts of Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Tetra Tech staff will collect damage information, perform substantial damage determination, provide call center, support field inspections, and assist with permitting and plan review. This will allow community development team members to continue their normal roles and help facilitate the processing of repair permits for those properties damaged in the storms. Data provided by Tetra Tech will also help ensure the city meets all requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program in relation to substantial damage and substantial improvement requirements. The city intends to seek full reimbursement of these costs through FEMA. City staff is available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Holmes?
This is both storms, correct?
Yes, this will cover the impact from both storms.
Okay. Is this a guess at the amount, or is that pretty accurate?
Yes, this is from the task order that Tetra Tech has provided.
Okay, so when we give this bill, when we submit this to FEMA, the $1,860,000, pretty good chance we should recover that then?
That is my understanding.
Does that fall within their little realm of possibilities there? Or is this one of these things 10 years from now, we're still going to wait for the check?
It is covered under the list of eligible expenses for reimbursement for municipalities. So we do have every reason to believe that this will be fully reimbursed by FEMA.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I want to ask you exactly when that will be, because we know sometimes these things take some time.
I move to approve authorization for emergency spending for disaster recovery management services to Tetra Tech, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,860,720. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next is item number 13.
Good evening again, Mayor and Commissioners. This agenda item is to approve the foreclosure attorney retainer agreement with Radden Parker Gurley. The foreclosure attorney operates under the direction of the City Attorney's Office and assists the Community Standards Division in dealing with blighted residential and commercial properties within the city. The foreclosure process is a vital last step that helps resolve cases that have been through the entire code enforcement process without achieving compliance. Since the city began use of the foreclosure attorney in 2018, 54 cases have been resolved, resulting in the city collecting over $950,000 in outstanding code liens. Some of these funds have been utilized to create residential assistance programs such as the Angel Fund, which has assisted over 36 residents since its creation in 2021. This retainer agreement will be good for 3 years beginning January 1, 2025. Staff is available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Any question? Vice Mayor Holmes?
Chase, how much money did we spend to get the million?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
How
question?
much money, what was the lawyer's fees to recover the million?
It's a sliding scale depending on like what, how far the case goes within the foreclosure process. Overall, the city collected about $1.5 million with $950,000 going back to the city and the remainder going to the foreclosure attorney. It
Wait a
was
second.
roughly about
We
$450,000.
collected 1.5 million,
Roughly.
roughly. And how much did the city keep out of it? 900 and some odd thousand?
$950,000, a little more than that.
Okay. We're not upside down for short.
No, the sliding scale for the foreclosure attorney goes between 25 to 40% of the cost of the recovered
Yeah, I mean,
fees.
It's like you watch the attorneys on, the ambulance chasers on TV, and they're always talking about, well, hell, we recovered, $1 billion on this. Yeah, well, how much did the client get? That's always one of the rubs. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Thank you. This is going to be replacing our former attorney, correct?
Yes, this is a different firm.
Okay. What cities, I tried going on their website to find out what other cities, or do they represent any other cities?
I believe they do not represent any other cities at this time. I believe their background is mostly with homeowners associations.
Okay. And with that, how many when we sent this out, how many lawyers, these groups apply for this? Or is this just
We
the-
had bids from 3 different firms.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner DeBreezy.
Commissioner Smith asked 3 of my questions.
Right minds.
Just to clarify, this was discussed at the September workshop, and
Yes.
out of the workshop came the decision to seek proposals from other firms.
Yes.
And as I understand it, the Widener firm did not respond?
They did respond.
Just, first of all, I want to say, I like this program. I mean, it did everything it should to be able to bring people into compliance, and there was only a handful of homes that were actually foreclosed on, so I think it's a successful program. I'm just curious as to the level that you can say so, why was this the choice of someone who'd been doing it for years, and the firm that we're going to now, as Commissioner Smith mentioned, is mostly involved with homeowners associations and hasn't necessarily done municipal work?
I believe it was at the direction of the commission to explore other bids, and then I believe it was the city attorney who decided, to go another route, because the foreclosure attorney does receive direction from the city attorney's office.
Okay. Is the pricing the same?
Yes, all bids were the exact same pricing scale.
Okay. All right, well, I had my other 3, like some Commissioner Smith asked, I was just curious after hearing now that, I originally thought that the Widener firm did not respond, but hearing that they did, if you're not able to answer, it's fine, let's talk to the city attorney. I'm just curious as to the decision that was made to switch firms from a firm that was doing it for a while. And I know there was some discussion about some issues they may have had with other municipalities, but, I can always follow up with the city attorney more about the decision-making, about the change.
Yes, it was ultimately the city attorney's decision.
Thank you. I think at that work session, there was some discussion about the sliding scale and the fact that I think with the agreement, at least the previous agreement, was if it goes all the way to foreclosure, the percentage is a little bit bigger.
Yes.
And we talked about maybe reconsidering that so that there's less incentive, not that I expect to, because as was stated, a very small number actually go to
Yes,
foreclosure.
extremely small number.
But the way that it's a sliding scale exists, it seems as if there's an incentive to go to foreclosure because then your percentage is higher. And we talked maybe about looking at those percentages and even raising the lower one so that it's more level, so there doesn't even give the impression that there's some incentive for this firm to go towards foreclosure because they would get a higher percentage. Because if you're just looking at the agreement, it kind of looks that way. Was that discussed at all?
Yeah, and my understanding is because it involves more work, the further along the process goes, that most firms tend to have that sliding scale, that the further along it goes, the higher the percentage gets.
All right. I still think that for public impressions, it would make sense for it not to be a sliding scale. So even though I don't, we haven't worked with this firm yet, I don't expect that the last firm, they went to foreclosure when it was the absolute last thing, their last opportunity or whatever, the last thing they had to do, right? So their goal is to settle these. Out of the 54 that settled, probably, 85%?
Yeah, I believe it was, I have it here, only 15 cases actually went to foreclosure. So those 54 we sent to the previous firm, only 15 actually made it all the way to the foreclosure auction.
Yeah, I wish that would have been considered a little bit, and I don't know if the firm has an issue with that, they want to maintain that sliding scale. I just think that from an outsider looking in, it seems like there's an incentive financially for the firm to work towards foreclosure, even if that doesn't exist in reality.
Sir.
Vice Mayor Holmes.
Just curious, on parcels that we are foreclosing on, are we spending any money on those properties? For example, this is hypothetical. Let's say during the latest rounds of floods, all of a sudden we get into a case where the house was damaged by the flood water and the owner of the house is, skipped out on the thing, so we're moving towards foreclosure on the thing, okay? And the attorneys, they're hot to trot on this. Are we spending any money to bring that house, to bring it within code? And if so, is the money that we spend on that, does that come out of the proceeds before the attorney is paid?
Not normally. In cases what you're referring to, we would actually use our nuisance abatement program. Say there's a life safety issue where an abandoned home with a pool, the fence fell down. We could hire a contractor to repair that fence. A lien would then be placed against the property for the repair costs of putting that fence back up, and that would be completely separate lien than a foreclosure lien.
What would you do? You're going to lien a property that we're in the process of foreclosing, so.
Not normally. I can't think of a case where we've actually
Well, so I said
taken
this
nuisance abatement action when
This
we're
was
also foreclosing
hypothetical,
on the
that's all.
property.
That's what it was. It was just a hypothetical example. And also, I think what Woody's trying to bring up, and he's got a very valid point, is the more money that's involved in the foreclosure, I imagine it's the expenses involved, the percentage to the company, the legal firm, their percentage is going up accordingly, versus if it was settled, early on, the percentage would be lower, and their amount of reward would be lower. I think that's what they're looking at.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I move to approve the foreclosure retainer agreement with Raven Parker Gurley, PA.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is ordinance number 2025-14.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. My name is Bill Brown. If you haven't met me yet, I'm the Assistant Environmental Services Director. I wanted to introduce our new Environmental Manager, which is Kevin Miller. He's going to present this ordinance amendments. Take it away.
All right. Good evening, Commission members. Thank you for your time. This item is the first reading of ordinance number 2025-14. Proposed revisions to Chapter 23, Article 2, Sanitary Sewer Use Ordinance, excuse me, with a focus on updating and modernizing our grease management program for commercial and industrial wastewater discharges. This item was originally discussed in the Commission work session held on November 14th, 2023. The current grease management program is based on outdated code that can be challenging to enforce and may not address newer issues in wastewater management. The proposed changes aim to modernize and simplify the program, making it easier to understand, implement, and enforce for both the city and commercial users. These updates include clearer definitions, a more streamlined inspection process, and improved enforcement mechanisms, all designed to make the program more efficient and effective. We focus our review specifically on Division 4 of the Industrial Pretreatment section of the current Sewer Use Code. Our goal was to modernize this part of the code, which previously referenced the 2010 Florida Building Code for Grease Management Device Compliance. In our updates, we now reference the current Florida Building Code and by default, the updated Plumbing Code. Some of you may recall the October 2016 compliance deadline when we worked to bring non-compliant food establishments and other businesses into compliance by installing grease devices that not only met minimum standards, but were also appropriately sized for each operation. We've removed outdated language related to this effort and reorganized the content to focus specifically on the businesses that need to comply. Additionally, we've added the option for businesses to submit required documentation online, making it easier for them to respond and stay compliant. Excuse me. We are proposing fee adjustments in this section of the ordinance to align costs with actual expenses and bring them to current levels. One of the key updates is the introduction of pumping variance fees. Excuse me. The process to evaluate whether a commercial user can pump out at a reduced frequency requires multiple site visits, but there is currently no charge for this request. Our existing rates for inspection and enforcement are outdated, and as a result, they no longer reflect the true costs of providing these services. To address this, we've increased the fees for failing to pump an interceptor to a level above the actual cost of pumping, creating a financial incentive for businesses to comply with the pumping requirements. We've also moved the fee schedule to a separate table, making it easier to locate and update as needed. The current commercial user fee is $100 per year, and it has remained unchanged since 1997. For compliant CUs that aren't requesting changes to their pumping frequency, there will be no impact. However, we are introducing or adjusting several fees that we haven't charged for in the past, as outlined on this slide. These changes bring us in line with industry standards and practices adopted by neighboring municipalities. We aim to set fees in a way that minimize the financial burden on our residential ratepayers, while ensuring that commercial users contribute fairly to the cost of maintaining and managing the system. With the introduction of online applications and renewals, compliance should be more convenient. Additionally, by organizing the rules into a separate section, we've made it easier for businesses to understand the compliance requirements and know exactly which steps to take. From an economic standpoint, commercial users will see increases in staff rates, new charges for services that were previously free, and higher fees for persistent non-compliance. Industrial users contribute waste that can be harmful to the wastewater treatment facility, and as such require more stringent regulation than commercial users. This involves a detailed review of their operations and ensuring they implement acceptable pre-treatment methods to protect the plant, personnel, and the environment. Unlike commercial users, industrial users are typically permitted for multiple years and are only charged a fee once per permit cycle. We are proposing a change to charge industrial users an annual fee similar to our commercial users to better reflect the level of effort required to monitor their compliance. For most industrial users, this fee would range from $75 to $100 per month. We will provide a detailed breakdown of the new fees, which will vary based on factors such as the size of the business, the type, and wastewater discharge characteristics. As part of these changes, we're also recommending fee adjustments for our industrial pretreatment program to cover the costs of monitoring, inspections, and other necessary activities to ensure compliance with the updated sanitary sewer use ordinance. These fee adjustments are designed to be fair and proportional to the effort required to maintain the program. So in closing, staff recommend approval of ordinance number 2025-14 to update the grease management program as well as the updated fees for the industrial pretreatment program. If approved this evening by the City Commission, the item will be reviewed to be heard at, it's incorrect on this slide, it'll actually be the February 4th, 2025. This concludes the presentation. Thank you.
Ordinance number 2025-14, an ordinance of the City of Largo, Florida, amending Chapter 23, Division 4, Industrial Pretreatment of the City of Largo Code of Ordinances by amending Section 23-117, Definitions, to remove definitions only being used in the new Division 5, amending Section 23-119, Fees, to clarify and update applicable fees by presenting them in a table, amending Section 23-120, Commercial Wastewater Discharge Permits, to update the requirements for such permits, amending Section 23-123, Enforcement, to provide for consistency with the changes being made by this ordinance, and creating Chapter 23, Division 5, Grease and Solids Management Program, to delineate authority to permit and control the introduction of fats, oils, and grease, parentheses, FOG, and other solids into the sanitary sewer system contributed by commercial facilities such as food service establishments, commercial laundries, and automobile washing and repair and maintenance shops, providing for cost recovery through additional industrial pretreatment user fees, and defining additional fees for fog and other solids producers, and providing criteria for the maintenance and regulation of the city's industrial pretreatment program, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Do we have any cards on this?
We have no cards.
Commissioner Smith?
Thank you. In your business statement part, you mentioned that there's approximately 442 commercial users and industrial users 19. How many of those have we been having difficulty? Can you give me an estimate? In each one of those, are we having difficulty with this?
Having
failure?
difficulty in terms of,
Pumping, grease issues, is it a high one or is it low?
I would say we have certain facilities in the jurisdiction that are better than others.
Okay.
And in terms of the industrial pretreatment program for the industrial users, they have operating permits where they're required to perform sampling quarterly to analyze their wastewater. So they have a lot more stringent requirements and a lot more oversight. But I think we have a pretty decent program, and we've worked, as we mentioned in 2016, worked to get everybody compliant and remove some of the smaller grease traps that were previously in place and get everybody the appropriate size grease interceptors for their operations.
Oh, I remember those. Of those businesses, how many have we been in communication with that we've let them know that this ordinance is going to be here? They know that this ordinance is going to be here tonight. Do they even know this is coming forward where fees may be coming? Or
It will mostly impact our industrial users.
Okay.
So for the commercial users, they won't see as much of an impact. So the 492 commercial facilities, as long as they stay in compliance, then they shouldn't have any increase in their fees. And in terms of the industrial users, we actually compared with other cities and municipalities and found that our fees are much lower. Pinellas County charges around $1,000 for a 2-year permit, and our permits can go up to 5 years. So really, we're just trying to come in line and fund the program. We have a lot of training that's required. We send our staff off to annual training to get certifications.
you use Pinellas County, but what city around us, kind of in our size, did you look at? Like at Pinellas Park?
City of Clearwater has a program as well. I don't have the exact figures in front of me. I could get those to you.
Okay. All right, thank you. I ask that is because if this gets written up on paper, I don't want some business calling me and thinking that I'm just going to tack on a whole bunch of fees to them left and right. So, okay, thank you.
We're going to blame you anyway.
Oh.
Thank you. Commissioner DeBreeze.
Again, you kind of got my question, but looking at the impact fee, I just want to get a clarification. If I'm a business that's doing what it's supposed to do, not causing any issues or any extra work, am I going to see an increase?
No, sir. Depending on your scope of work, if you are a commercial user, just a restaurant, running a restaurant, then no, you wouldn't see any impacts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You got to get faster on the buzzer. So, I had a couple questions that haven't already been asked. You mentioned two things that popped out. First, for a restaurant, an annual user, $100 a year, and there was hourly site visit fees. They wouldn't matter to folks that do things right and have that annual fee. Am I correct?
That's correct. More so, we're looking to add in reinspection fees as well. Previously, anytime we've had to go out multiple times, we don't assess fees for that. Same with the variance requirements that we spoke about. That involves a lot of site visits back and forth to the locations, and previously we don't charge any fees for that as well.
Sure, and so just for folks, you know this, but a variance is if somebody says, I'm not using that much grease, and I only need to pump it once every 3 months, and that's all I really would need, rather than once a month. You can come out and prove that, and that would require a lot of work on our behalf.
Exactly. Typically, we would assess the operations they're building, give them a requirement, you need to pump every 6 months or so, and if they feel that that is different, they can request a variance. And so that would involve, like you said, our staff going out every 90 days, assessing to see how it's coming along, whether the variance is working as intended. So it's a lot of communication back and forth, multiple site visits for those types of requests.
Good. And so for industrial users, which there's not a ton of them, there's like 19 you said?
Yes, sir.
you said that the new fee would be based on flow, on use, on what they're putting in there. You also said business size. So I hope by business size, you mean somehow like how much stuff they're putting down the stream. Because if it's a really big business, but they don't have much impact on our wastewater system, the size of their business shouldn't matter, am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's all taken into account when we currently do their in-processing for their permits. And yeah, more so their flow is what we're concerned about, how much water usage is coming to our plant, and then also other things like surcharge fees for like oil and grease or total suspended solids. Some of our facilities have bigger impacts, say like grease hauler companies or grease treatment, they have higher costs for these types of fees.
Okay, so the net revenue or whatever of the business doesn't come into play?
No, sir.
Okay, good. That's all I had. And I must have asked somebody else's questions because all these lights turned off.
I was going to ask him one question.
We're in sync tonight.
How many frequent offenders do we have? No names, just how many?
For for industrial users or
Yeah.
for,
Do we have any?
so yes, every year we're required to post any significant non-compliant facilities into the Tampa Bay Times. For last year, I believe we had 3 industrial users that made that list.
Really? Are they still on the list?
Yes, because we just posted that in December. It's required to be posted at the end of the year, so I'd have to. 2 of them we are working through currently. They had exceedances for Q4, so yes, they would still be in non-compliance for those.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I move to approve ordinance number 2025-14 on first reading and schedule a second reading and public hearing on Feb. 4, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, items from the dais. Assistant City Attorney Johnston.
I don't have anything. I will follow up with some of the questions that came up earlier for city attorneys in a minute.
Thank you. Commissioner Lauser.
Apologies for the coughing fit. Thought I had it under control, but I have nothing else. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Hulk.
I'd just like to welcome Kevin Miller to the team. Thank you. And also, I would like to congratulate my alma mater, Seminole High School. They were guests at the march in the Rose Bowl parade last weekend, so we're very proud of them. A proud neighbor of Largo's. And Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make it a good one. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
I want to say thank you to Chris Hawkson for his work on our legislative action agenda. I think it looks great this year. I'm excited to go to Tallahassee and advocate. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Holmes.
I got 2 things. Number 1, my cultural event of the year is coming up on the 18th of this month, so mark your calendar to attend Touch a Truck. 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. That's a week, not a week from this Saturday, a week from next Saturday, 2 days before Trump takes the oath. Item 2, March 1st, again, mark your calendar. This is the Cracker Lunch for the Largo Historical Society. It's apparently this is one of the biggest events they have every year. I'm not going to get into the weeds of all the details here, but you can go to their website, which is the largohistoricalsociety.org, and all you have to do is go to the Cracker Lunch, and all the details are right there. And apparently they're having it out. This gets so big every year. They're having the luncheon out at St. Jerome, so good stuff coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner DeBreezy.
Thank you. In my professional life, I'm able to operate programs that help victims and survivors of human trafficking, so it was very nice to see the city bringing awareness to the issue. It is a significant issue in the Tampa Bay area, and again, thank you to the city for bringing that awareness and recognizing Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And Finally, my daughter Gianna is out in the crowd. She's leaving school on Thursday, going back to school, so just wanted to say goodbye and good luck. And she wanted to come see Dad on the dais tonight.
Just sucking up.
Thanks for being here. All I had was I wanted to mention for the touch-a-truck, the quiet time, so they don't start blowing the horns until noon. So if you don't want to listen to their big trucks have big horns. It's really loud from noon until 2. From 10 until noon they don't blow the horns, so it's a little more quiet. So if you got little kids, either come early or bring some like earplugs or something. But it is a great event. Mr. Hurt.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to let the community know about Shred Fest this year, coming up this weekend, January 11th, at the Starkey Road Collection Center from, I believe,
9 to noon.
9 to noon.
Or until the truck gets full, which, since we had to cancel the last 2, that might happen quick. So
come early.
Come early.
And again, one of our more popular events. Also want to let everyone know the cold shelters are open. Check with PinellasHomeless.org for locations. In coordination with that, PTSA is offering free rides for people who need rides to those cold shelters from 5 p.m. today till 7 tomorrow. So people who need to get help getting out in the cold, please check that out. And then finally, I want to let everyone update about City Hall. I want to thank our Public Works team for all the work that they did last week. We had a fan motor went down that heats the building. Our team, through great ingenuity and creativity, found a quick fix to get us all back in the building and get our operations back up and running. We do have a longer-term fix that's been ordered. I also want to let the community know the cost of that is going to be less than $5,000. So I want to extend our appreciation to the team for responding quickly and efficiently and getting that, get us back up and running.
Excellent. I did want to ask if we could get just some type of report from the police department concerning the citizen's comment from earlier today, as far as, just send us what's happening over there. And I know that if somebody's breaking into our house, we'll get them, because that's usually the experience that I find. But any action items?
The only one I had was your request for a report on Ms. Caldera's burglary problem.
Very good. Thank you so much. Meeting is adjourned.